course of the last year, downtown Minneapolis has seen some come.
No, living downtown has been great.
And some go.
I moved recently just to get out of this area.
And it's the latter group that several downtown stakeholders like the Downtown Council are looking to win over. They launched an initiative Friday called A New 612, aimed at bringing people back downtown between now and Labor Day. There will be social media campaigns and marketing while bringing back events like farmers markets and live music.
We're already seeing signs that hotel occupancy, which this time last year was running less than 10%. Right now on the weekends, those occupancies are approaching 30%.
But the biggest challenge is addressing the perception of public safety.
Perception is reality.
There have been 107 violent crimes reported downtown so far this year, compared to 117 all of last year, and it's not even summer yet.
Okay, so this is Thursday. They're telling people, come down. Come downtown. Come back downtown. It's safe. It's safe to come back downtown. The restrictions have been lifted. Let's pour back into our city's economy and turn the page from a year of a pandemic and protesting, peaceful protesting. Let's be the catalyst that spurs the economic growth and recovery of Minneapolis. So everybody who's been staying away from downtown, come on back downtown. It's safe and your city needs you.
Been 107 violent crimes reported downtown so far this year, compared to 117 all of last year, and it's not even summer yet.
We have spent a lot of time really breaking down statistics to help people understand whereabouts within the city things are happening, so that we can provide accurate information and hopefully tell an accurate story.
Which is why leaders say a good portion of downtown's future success will rely heavily on new experiences to draw people back. The downtown leaders say they are in direct communication with both the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office as well as Minneapolis Police to create a more safe and inclusive downtown experience. Randy?
All right, thank you, Devon.
Gun violence continues to plague Minneapolis as 3 people are killed overnight, 11 others injured. The latest shooting killing a University of St. Thomas student who is set to graduate today. Police say he was simply an innocent bystander when shots rang out downtown. Good evening, I'm Courtney Godfrey, filling in for Karen Scullin tonight. Police say suspect has been arrested in that shooting. The suspect was one of the 2 men who began fighting when both pulled out their guns. The other man died. In total, 10 people were shot.
In total, 10 people were shot. There was a mass shooting in Minneapolis, of all places, which I've covered. I've been trying to show you guys, expose you guys, what the mainstream media is not showing, that the ground zero for defund the police is now a literal hellhole. It's bad up there, Jack, and it was never this bad. And I hear people blaming it on gangs coming from Chicago. It ain't no gangs coming from Chicago. Gangs been coming from Chicago since the 80s. Yes, they brought their level of violence with them. But have you noticed that since May 26th of 2020, things have gotten exponentially worse? Okay? This is about defund the police. And my heart goes out to this student, man. And again, as I always tell you guys, it's not thugs that are just dying in these streets. If it was just thugs, I could halfway understand people saying, well, this is not a big issue. This is not the biggest story in America in the last 25 years. I would say since 9/11. This isn't the biggest story since 9/11. The fact that For every 1,000 black people that get killed in years previous, there are extra 350 that are killed now. Okay? Murders up 35%. That's a lot of black dead bodies that would normally have survived with the police fully funded.
Police say he was simply an innocent bystander when shots rang out downtown. Good evening, I'm Courtney Godfrey, filling in for Karen Scullin tonight. Police say a suspect has been arrested in that shooting. The suspect was one of the two men who began fighting when both pulled out their guns. The other man died. In total, 10 people were shot. Today, the engineering student was remembered during his graduation ceremony at St. Thomas. Fox 9's Sarah Danik shares more on that tragic death. Sarah?
Yeah, Courtney, those who live and own businesses in downtown Minneapolis are angry, sad, they are fed up. They still want to fight for their city. As they say, it's not 100% safe in downtown Minneapolis, and big changes need to happen now.
Multiple squad cars racing down First Avenue at high speeds, followed by multiple ambulances going down First Avenue.
This was the scene that unfolded early Saturday morning around 2 a.m., just blocks away from the Loon Cafe, Tim Mahoney's bar and restaurant in downtown Minneapolis.
Well, I'm angry. And I think a lot of people are angry all over the Twin Cities, and especially Minneapolis.
Minneapolis police tell us today that 10 people were shot in the 300 block of North First Avenue. It happened as bars were closing for the night. 2 people died. Police say one of the shooters was killed. And we're learning tonight, a University of St. Thomas student, Charlie Johnson, set to graduate today with a degree in mechanical engineering, was the other man killed. Police believe he was a bystander in the wrong place at the wrong time.
We are confident that there are innocent victims in this.
The university confirming Johnson's death, sharing in an emotional moment today when a family member accepted his diploma on the day the senior should have been celebrating. Johnson was remembered at 3 different graduation ceremonies with his name read and an empty chair and a cap and gown. Police telling us today the deadly violence unfolded after a verbal fight between 2 men. Both pulled out guns and started shooting. Those who own businesses in the area are sharing their sadness and frustrations.
It was shocking, you know. It's almost like it was a shootout.
We need help. We need our city council to step up and do what they're supposed to do. This idea of some, ideology of no policing and a utopian world. Come on, folks. There's guns everywhere.
See how hesitant he was? He couldn't even really. It's so bad there. He should be cursing and screaming and pulling his hair out. MF for this and MF for that. And he was scared to even just lightly touch the subject. Come on, guys. There's guns everywhere. This idea of no police. The left got people shook. Scared to death. There's no way that people shouldn't be on there. Just everybody who said defund the police, blood on your hands. All y'all should be dragged into the town square and flogged. All y'all defund the police people. That's what he should have said.
We need help. We need our city council to step up and do what they're supposed to do. This idea of some, ideology of no policing and a utopian world. Come on, folks. There's guns everywhere.
Wanting answers and solutions during a time people should be able to enjoy downtown Minneapolis without fearing for their safety.
Do I feel 100% safe? I would love to say yes, but I can't. And that breaks my heart.
And police tell us it's not clear at this point if the 2 men who started shooting at one another knew each other or how many shots were fired. Courtney.
Thanks, Sarah. The Minneapolis Downtown Council calling on city leaders to take tough, decisive action In a statement, they say in part, there are too many people in our city today who believe they can act with impunity. Consequences be damned. Until that changes and our entire community rises up to say enough, we can expect this insanity to continue.
Thanks for watching WCCO4 News and CBSM Minnesota. It is a problem in most major cities across the country, finding recruits to fill the ranks of police departments.
Minneapolis is trying to combat crime with fewer officers. So far this year, they made 200 fewer arrests for violent crimes and more than 130 fewer arrests for property crimes. At the same time, at least 200 fewer police officers are on the street.
Don't you just love the way they acted like this is just something? They have no clue how this happened. This is infuriating, man. They just reporting the news. It's like a woman trying to act like a stork brought her baby or something. I just don't know how I got this baby. I did see a stork flying away shortly after I saw the baby on my doorstep. What the hell are they talking about? Of course it's 200 fewer officers. You defunded the police. You took money, huge portions of money from your police department. And guess what? Police get paid with dollars. You don't pay police in Walmart gift cards. They get paid with money. You took a bunch of money away from the police department. You defunded the police because of George Floyd. George Floyd death caused so much death and destruction across the country. All races of people. Gosh, it's infuriating. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the PayPal, the Cash App, the Super Chat. This is infuriating. Are y'all as mad as I am about this, that they're sitting there acting like they don't, like this just happened, like it's just over the years, we got less police and they're making less arrests. They're just literally acting like they didn't. Just the DOJ is not investigating the police department for racism. They're not saying the Minneapolis Police Department is racist.
Minneapolis is trying to combat crime with fewer officers. So far this year, they made 200 fewer arrests for violent crimes and more than 130 fewer arrests for property crimes. At the same time, at least 200 fewer police officers are on the street. WCCO's Reg Chapman has more on MPD's recruiting efforts.
Minneapolis police have made fewer arrests for crime so far this year than they have in at least the past 4 years. Many believe having 200 fewer officers on the street is a major factor in the decrease in enforcement. Sergeant Kia Boyd heads up MPD's recruitment effort.
One of the reasons I became a police officer.
Sergeant Kia Boyd. You know the chief there black, so, but they've ruined everything. And I've been around them all my life. I mean, like, I've been, like, immersed in them all my life. They've ruined everything. Now, don't get me wrong. Interpersonal relationships is hit or miss. Just like with everybody else. But government, the mayors, city council, Congress positions, senator positions, now vice presidents, Look at the state of this country, man. Look at the state of this country, man.
Sergeant Kia Boyd heads up MPD's recruitment effort.
One of the reasons I became a police officer is to protect my community. And what better way than to become a police officer?
Boyd was born and raised in South Minneapolis and shares Chief Madaria Arredondo's vision for a department that reflects the community it serves.
That the chief's vision is to be more intentional in our efforts and to include the community of Minneapolis in our hiring process and to help us with recruiting.
She reached out to faith leaders in the community to send qualified candidates to the attention of the department. Boyd also believes helping those interested to understand the different ways to enter the profession is key.
We have the Explorer program, getting kids in the middle of high school and then feeding them right into our CSO program, which is, will pay up to 2 years of your tuition. If you go to law enforcement school, and then you'll go right into our academy.
This route gives candidates the opportunity to get to know the department by working part-time while going to school. MPD is also looking for people with degrees in sociology, social work, or criminal justice.
We'll pay for your portion of skills, the state mandated requirement to be a Minnesota licensed police officer.
So they're looking for people with sociology. They're basically looking for social workers to make police. They're doing everything they can to recruit a diverse police force. Which is such a horrible thing to do. And I'm going to tell you why. As you heard earlier, the thugs are emboldened. They have no value for human life. People think they can act with impunity. They can just pull out guns and shoot 10 people and get away and it's no problem. People feel like they can pull up beside you in traffic and blow your brains out. People feel like they can shoot up anywhere in Minneapolis. So many kids have been shot in the head recently in Minneapolis by thugs who are not even in custody. And now you're going to have a bunch of black cops come clean this up. And that black cops going to have to shoot them some niggas. Them little black cadets you put out here on the street, they going to get even less respect than a white officer. Because it's going to be on some brother. Come on, you my brother. You supposed to have sympathy with criminals. No, I'm a law enforcement officer, you jackass. Here's the law. If you on that side of the law, you fine. Once you step on this side of the law, you going in some cuffs. And them black officers are going to be in a terrible position, man. I feel bad for these black officers that are going to have to come in Minneapolis and deal with these emboldened, enraged, entitled thugs that are going to be looking at them as for a brother man discount on some police stuff. Wow.
Boyd also believes helping those interested to understand the different ways to enter the profession is key.
We have the Explorer program, getting kids in the middle of high school and then feeding them right into our CSO program, which is, will pay up to 2 years of your tuition. If you go to law enforcement school, and then you'll go right into our academy.
This route gives candidates the opportunity to get to know the department by working part-time while going to school. MPD is also looking for people with degrees in sociology, social work, or criminal justice.
We'll pay for your portion of skills, the state mandated requirement to be a Minnesota licensed police officer. And while you're doing that, your benefits kicking right away, and you're a full-time employee.
Boyd believes these efforts will bring out the best qualified candidates to fill MPD's ranks.
I'm optimistic. It's not going to be tough. I'm from the community. I know it didn't stop with me. I know that there's more from the community that want to take on this profession.
Reg Chapman, WCCO 4 News.
MPD is also using its Women's Leadership Academy to give women interested in the profession an idea of what the job looks like. The Minneapolis Police Department is actively recruiting. The MPD website has more information, and we have a link to that at WCCO.com.
Thanks for joining us. Several new developments tonight in that deadly downtown Minneapolis shootout that happened around bar close overnight.
10 people were shot, 2 of them died. Police now say they have 1 person in custody. Within the last couple of hours, we learned new details on one of the people killed. Devon Roming live in Minneapolis with more on that. Hi, Devon.
That's right, Chris. We are learning more details in regards to what happened this morning and the impact this is having, not just on the city of Minneapolis, but also students and staff at the University of St. Thomas, where one of the graduates was supposed to graduate today.
It's hard that we lost our classmate this morning. And I acknowledge the difficult dynamic that we're dealing with today.
He was supposed to walk across the stage today as a University of St. Thomas mechanical engineering graduate.
President Sullivan, it's my honor to welcome to the stage Camille Johnson. Charlie B. Johnson.
Instead, the university says Charlie Johnson was killed early this morning by gunfire.
All those damn years of studying. Mechanical engineering, all those long hours. Oh my God. Of studying. I know y'all say that Caucasoids have higher IQs. Well, yeah, okay, even if you want to say that. Let's just say that's true. They still got to study. And they still got to bust their humps to succeed in this world. And all of them don't have it. Some of them just work hard. Even if that's true. Even if what you say is true, all of them don't have it. Because it's average. Imagine the amount of work this kid put through to graduate mechanical engineering degree. The night before he's set to graduate, goes out for some drinks. Goes out for some drinks. And I know he was woke. He in Minneapolis. He couldn't have been in Minneapolis being some damn conservative. It just ain't realistic. Out there having some drinks. And some 2 Wakandans get into an argument and start trying to kill each other in broad nightlight, crowded club scene. Shoot 10 people, and he's one of them. He dies in the street like a dog the night before he graduates. And his relative got to come up there the next day. Yeah, Charlie dead. We need you to come get his diploma as a, it's gonna be a, you can come walk across stage 4. We need somebody from the family to walk across stage 4. This woman, it hadn't even hit this woman yet what happened. She ain't even processed it yet. Just destroying lives all over the place, man. This messes me up, man. Because I know what this kid went through to get that mechanical engineering degree. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't know from experience, but I know what it takes to get that degree. Mechanical engineering. I know they say the slaves built America. Mechanical engineers built America. Okay.
President Sullivan, it's my honor to welcome to the stage Camille Johnson. Charlie B. Johnson.
Instead, the university says Charlie Johnson was killed early this morning by gunfire. Police say it was a chaotic scene upon arrival near North 1st Avenue and 3rd Street in downtown Minneapolis. 10 people shot, leaving 2 of them dead. One of them, police say, was an innocent bystander.
Both were on different areas of the block.
According to police, an altercation between two people broke out moments before both of them pulled out guns and started shooting at each other.
One of those individuals was one of the deceased people we found as we arrived on the scene.
Through surveillance video and word of mouth, Minneapolis police say they were able to narrow in on who they believe is the surviving suspect Saturday afternoon with the help of Bloomington police.
He's a 23-year-old male living in Bloomington.
With a suspect now off the streets.
That does make me feel a little bit better that, like, they're doing their job. They're down there to keep people safe.
It's bringing...
What?
That does make me feel a little bit better that, like, they're doing their job. They're down there to keep people safe.
It's bringing very little comfort to those questioning whether or not a return to downtown is even feasible at this point, as downtown leaders come up with new strategies to win people back.
I think it's going to be critical if downtown's going to survive what just happened. There are so many companies that have essentially just sent everybody home, and getting people to come back has been a great deal of resistance.
Downtown's a wonderful place to go. People just have to keep an eye on their surroundings, know what's out there, know what's around you, and be safe.
Now, Minneapolis police say they are increasing patrols in the downtown area to try to combat some of these violent crimes. And as for the remaining victims, we are told they've been treated for non-life-threatening injuries, with the exception of one who is still in critical condition tonight. Chris?
Yeah, Devon, the fact that that family member walked across that stage just 15 hours after the young man was killed is just unbelievable. Thank you, sir. Minneapolis police also investigating several other shootings that happened within the last day. This one, also deadly, took place around 8:30 last night near 26th Avenue and Logan Avenue North. Police say a man with multiple gunshot wounds crashed into another vehicle. He later died at a hospital. 3 other people were hurt in other shootings last night in Minneapolis. Well, this group of people say they're fed up with the violence. Today, they marched from 35th and Penn Avenue North, where 6-year-old Anaya Allen was shot and killed earlier this week.
Look how sparse the crowds are when they're marching for the death of a 6-year-old black girl who was shot in the head while eating a Happy Meal shortly after leaving the McDonald's. Look how sparse this crowd is. You don't see the mayor sobbing. You don't see city council leaders. You don't see a million white liberals out here. Look how sparse this crowd is. Never ceases to amaze me. The sparseness. It's like 40 people out there tops. If a grown ass career criminal, black, of course, because if he was white, don't care. If a grown ass black career criminal with just a career violent crime, we're not talking about a shoplifter. A grown ass black violent career criminal was killed while fighting with police, tussling with police, wrangling with police. It would be 2,000, 3,000 people out here right now. 6-year-old girl gets shot in the head eating a Happy Meal in her dad's car. People not even shooting at his dad, at her dad. Just bullets just whizzing, because you heard how much crime it is there. Bullets just whiz through the air everywhere. You heard 8 people got shot last night that had nothing to do with the situation between those 2 guys. 1 got killed. And you got 40 people tops out there in honor of this little girl.
Well, this group of people say they're fed up with the violence. Today, they marched from 35th and Penn Avenue North, where 6-year-old Anaya Allen was shot and killed earlier this week. And they went to the Hennepin County Medical Center. That's where 2 other children are hospitalized after being shot. People in the group told us they marched in solidarity with those families, and they're demanding the shooters turn themselves in.